Hey, this is Nick, and in a previous video I showed you how to send an email from an Excel spreadsheet by using a formula that created a hyperlink, and then you clicked the hyperlink and it made an email. Well, today I'm going to show you how to do something a little more complicated, kind of the same thing, except this time instead of using a formula, we're going to use a VBA macro, and it's going to send an email or compose an email, and it's going to include a hyperlink back to your original spreadsheet. So let me first show you an example of how this works. So let's say I've made this weekly financial report spreadsheet, and now I want to send it to my coworkers. So I would just hit the compose email button, and there it is. It automatically creates this email here on the fly. So let me show you how this works. And I will include a link to this example in the description of the video. So this uses a VBA macro. If you go to view macros, here's my compose email macro I'm going to step into. So here's the code that makes this whole thing work. So I'll just kind of go through it really quick. At the beginning, I have this optimize speed code to kind of help speed up the macro. So at the beginning, I turn all this stuff off, and then at the end we turn it back on. So next, then I'm declaring this WB1 as this workbook in case you have more than one workbook open, and then I'm declaring variable names. So one thing I really wanted to do was how do you know who to send or who to put in the email to line or the CC line? Well, you could put the emails inside the code, but then only anyone who knew a VBA or knew how to code would be able to go in and change the email. So I wanted it to be easy for anybody to go and change the email addresses. So I made this helper sheet. So here I have two. So here I have my email addresses. So it will send to these two cells, and then it will CC these two people. So if this person changed, then you could go in and right here and just easily change the email. Or let's say you wanted to add even more emails, you could actually just go on here and add another email at blah blah blah.com. So if we go back to the code here, this is where I'm declaring each one of those variables, and then here you can see it's referring to those cells B1, C1, B2, B2 for the CC line. So that's where it says, so it's the code is telling it to, inside this workbook, go to the sheet send list. That's my helper sheet. I'll select these values and then go back to the first sheet. So next, for the signature, I want to use the owner name of the application. So if you go to Excel and you look up here in the right-hand corner, it has my name there. That is what I'm going to use as the signature in the email. So to get that, you do application.username. And then I also want to have the subject line as the title of the spreadsheet. So up here, weekly report -example. So that's what this workbook1.name is. And then I also want to link back to this original file. So one of my coworkers can just click the link and bam, it automatically opens the spreadsheet for them, so they don't have to go digging through a ton of folders or files. So that's where I use this workbook1.fullname that gets the location. So the next part is then starting the Microsoft Outlook application. There's two types of emails you can have, non-HTML and HTML. So because I want to have a link back to the spreadsheet, I'm using the HTML email. So that's what I have here. So this is, well, I guess first I'll show you this. So here's where the email is composed, the two lines. So here it's referring to the two variables I have. And then the CC line is going to these other two variables that I declared back up here and define those, what those were. BCC line, I have nothing. Subject is, again, the workbook name. Weekly report, that's example. And here I have, if you have a non-HTML email, it would be .body, and then you put your message here. I'm using HTML, so I do .html body, and then the body of the email will be this variable, which I have defined here. So first I have dear team, And then since this is HTML, this is the HTML code to do line breaks. So 2 line breaks. I've updated the weekly financial report, so it's just text in here, more line breaks, and then you get to the key part is this, which is what creates the hyperlink back to the Excel spreadsheet. So this is like code, HTML code, how to insert a hyperlink. And then the one tricky part is you have to have quotation marks in there, and you can't just have kind of quotation marks. It doesn't work with the code. So what I do is use this CHR-34, which is represents quotation marks, and then the file location, and again, I want the name of the link to be the workbook name. And then finally, more line breaks. I say thanks, and then more line breaks, and then my signature, which is the owner name. So then I just close it out. So next then is to put a button onto the sheet to make it easy. So to make buttons, you go to the Developer tab, insert button. You can assign a macro to it. So I can assign the same one and change the text whatever you want. So if I click this, it should do the same thing. Yep, there's my email. So here, my send list. So as you can see, it did all three of the emails that I had. So you can either make a bunch of cells, or you can just use put a bunch of emails in the same cell. Try it again. So here's my names. As you can see, the subject is the same as the spreadsheet. Dear team, line break, my text, and use the link back to the original file, and then my name. So that's all there is to it. That's how you can use a VBA macro to automatically compose a email message. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, so I'll be making more examples in the future. Again, this spreadsheet template will be linked to in the description. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks for watching, and good luck.